All right, well, thanks for sticking with us, everyone. My name is Colton Haney.
And I'm Ari Kato.
And we are so excited to congratulate and welcome the class of 2021.
So we'll be here for roughly an hour, ready to answer your questions. And so feel free to stick around and put your questions in the chat feature.
So we're joined by Jacinta as well, who will be filtering through your questions. So make sure to add your name along that so we can give you a shout out as well when you get those questions. So I guess we'll start off with one. We'll get started with this question. Ari, what does it mean to be part of the Hotelie community to you?
So the Hotelie community, well, so I'm originally from Tokyo, Japan, so I'm an international student, and I've never lived in the U.S. before. So I'm a freshman, so last semester in August, it was the first time coming to the United States, moving in and living here, and I would say the Hotelie community was the first family I found on campus. I know when it comes here, it is a business school with a hospitality twist to it. So a lot of people do think it's just solely for network building. You get some contacts, so you get a job in the future. But the Hotelie community means so much more than that, I would say. It's really a group of people that you can fall back on. Most of my friends are from the hotel school, and we hang out and we do so much more than just go to class together.
Definitely, and to echo a lot of what Ari was just talking about, one of the things I love about this program is that despite the fact that we're a well-renowned program and we have some really good coursework here, it's not a cutthroat environment like you'd consider in many other business school programs. Despite the fact that we are world-renowned, we have a great relationship with other students, and I believe Ari can speak to this as well, that it's not a cutthroat environment. It's very much a collaborative environment, and there's a focus on mutual benefit. We do so many projects that are group work based, and especially when you're preparing for prelims, which is our term for exams, you end up finding that you're like trading, just trading ideas with other people, sitting in doing study sessions and the such. So it's really a collaborative environment. Definitely isn't that cutthroat that you would think of a traditional business school.
And the traditional business school pathway does exist. I spent a lot of my time doing case competitions, consulting, doing those, from random all these big firms coming in, and we go to networking events. Yet the stress level, I would, have to stress, I may say, is very low. It's definitely competitive, and if you wish to push yourself, you can go very far. But there is no, pulling your hair out, and staying up till 5 a.m. with hoteliers is actually a very enjoyable time to do so. So I would say that's one of the biggest perks about the hotel school.
Definitely. So do we have any questions as of yet?
Not yet, so be sure to send in your questions.
Definitely. All right, well, Ari, you've been talking a little bit about your experience as an international student. Give us a little bit more background of your time here at Cornell. What are you involved in?
Yeah.
Just give us some more about yourself.
Of course. So as I said earlier, I'm a freshman. So this is actually almost through my second semester here. So everything has been crazy. It's a very big campus, as you can probably tell from all the statistics that have been thrown at you from the internet. But the community doesn't feel big. It feels very small and very tight knit. The first thing I joined actually on campus was chorus. Shout out to Mr. Bonino, my high school science teacher. He was a hangover back in the 90s. So in high school, when I told him I got into Cornell, he said, well, you have to go audition for all the singing groups. So I did. And then subsequently I joined After 8, which is the subset a cappella of the Cornell University chorus. So a lot of my first semester was actually spent in rehearsals and doing, putting on concerts and shows and rehearsals, and I made a lot of friends. So outside of the Statler, I was mostly, singing and playing music, which was great. Yeah. But yeah, so Colton, you're also in an a cappella. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm coincidentally also in an a cappella group, and I want to echo what Ari said about the fact that even though Cornell is a very large campus, because there's so many aspects of community that you can get involved in, it really makes it feel like a small place. First off, within the hotel school specifically, we have such a great sense of community here within the school. Many students end up finding that they're because the majority of our classes are here, you're blocked in classes with your other individuals of your year, you end up finding that you have such a strong sense of community. It feels like its own little environment within the larger Cornell, which is fantastic. There are also a lot of opportunities to find those environments that are small and connected outside of the hotel school as well. For me, it was joining an a cappella group. I'm actually currently sporting and advertising right now. So if you're here around May 5th, we actually have our concert. So Friday, May 5th, 8 p.m., Statler Auditorium. See, when I say I really don't leave the building, I really don't leave the building,
Nope.
even for a cappella concerts. But no, I ended up joining my a cappella group, which was a really great opportunity to not only meet people outside my major, but really pursue a passion that was beyond my professional development, which was a really fun opportunity for me.
And there are just so many opportunities around campus. We have something called Club Fest very early on in the semester, in the first semester. It's roughly in September, I should say early September. where all the clubs will be setting up booths around in Bartel. Bartel?
I think it's going to be back in Barton finally.
Barton. Okay, so it'll be back in Barton where freshmen and sophomores alike can go in and ask questions. At each booth, all the representative of each club will be there, and that's really the first big chance you get at getting exposed to all these clubs that are available on campus and seeing what you like. So I actually joined my pre-law fraternity that way. I saw their booth and I was interested, and I walked up, got a quarter card, and right now I'm doing my pledging process.
There you go. Very cool.
So now we have a question in from Whitney. Thank you so much, Whitney. Whitney asks, how should I spend my summer before I come to Cornell?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you want to go for it?
So I was actually, if you look at the statistics on our hotel school's website, it would say roughly 80-something% has done an internship before they come here. So I was actually part of that 10-something%. I actually have never had an internship in a hospitality institution before, so I came in cold. I showed up here and really started from scratch and learned what hospitality was. I would say if you do have the opportunity, certainly go take up an internship somewhere at a hotel, at a restaurant, anywhere that is related to the service industry, and have a taste of it and see if you really like it. Because if you come into hotel school, you don't have to do operations. There's so much more opportunities and possibilities as to what you can do with a hotel school degree. But spend your summer before you come here kind of getting exposed to all sorts of facets of the service industry and just getting really visiting your family and friends if that's what you need to do after graduating high school and before you come here. Travel if you can, but really enjoy your time. Cornell, you can really get to start anew, so really go and have fun.
Definitely, and the one thing I will say that if you have an opportunity to, get some hospitality experience, that's fantastic. Another opportunity, I think, is making sure that you get to decompress after just, finishing your high school career. Getting that opportunity to travel or do something like that is definitely a great opportunity with your summer. Right before you join the hotel school, one of the things I will mention is that you will have so many opportunities to do internships while you're here. The vast majority of students end up going to do an internship every single summer. They're here in the hotel school. So there will definitely be those opportunities. So don't feel that you're going to be behind the 8 ball if you don't have hospitality experience before you get here. But at the same token, you can also gain some really interesting experience and valuable insights before you start if that's what you choose to do.
And just to echo what Colton said, there's not a requirement for you to have to complete, let's say, an 8-week internship before you come here. There is, however, a practice credit requirement, but that starts only after you enroll into Cornell. So even if you work 600 hours this summer, it won't count towards that practice credit. But of course, feel free to go and pick up an internship just to see what it's like.
But it definitely, if you end up completing 600 hours this summer, that's quite the feat. Congratulations. Jacinta, I think we have another question.
Yes, we do. So we have a question from you. You asks, could you talk a little bit about the study abroad program for students in the hotel school?
Sure. So I knew a variety of my friends now that I'm a senior who have gone through the study abroad program. We do have Sean Meyer in our Office of Student Services is our liaison for the rest of the university regarding our study abroad programs. There are a variety of different programs and schools that you can get involved with that allow you to go to abroad in a variety of different programs. You can do this either in a language-based program, or you could even do this where you go and actually work in a foreign location. There are quite a few hoteliers that look forward to that opportunity to be able to go to a foreign location, practice a language that they've been working on at the same time while getting some valuable hospitality experience. But there are a lot of opportunities. Many students who do end up choosing to go abroad will either go in the spring of their junior year or the fall of their senior year. And it's a fantastic opportunity, especially for those that haven't had the opportunity to travel before this, to be getting credits towards graduation while also being able to have an experience that's really life-changing off of campus.
And no worries if you haven't found a lot of information online about the study abroad opportunities yet. When I first arrived last semester, they were continuously doing study abroad information sessions in the Statler, especially Hotelie specific study abroad opportunities. So once you get on campus, you'll have full immersion and exposure to those information.
So yeah, definitely don't worry about it. You can deal with that once you get here.
So now we have a question from Hamid. Thank you, Hamid. Hamid asks, why did you decide to go to the Cornell Hotel School?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a big one.
So for me, I ended up finding the hotel school. My father was a graduate of the class of 1980. And originally, it was not even on my radar. I had no idea that hospitality was something that I wanted to do until I came up and visited. And there's a special sauce in this place. There's something that just makes this place tick that just really felt like the perfect fit for me. I came from a very analytical background. I loved math. I loved the sciences. But at the same point, I loved interacting with people. I love, I gained my energy in my extroversion. And for me, like having that opportunity to do something that was analytical and had those like very statistics-based concepts in it, and really like had the finance, financial accounting, those types of things, but at the same point was a social type of major that had me out, out from behind the desk and interacting with people. That was a great opportunity for me.
Absolutely. So I'd like to echo Colton what said about getting energy through extroversion. So I actually went to high school in China. I went to Shanghai American School. Shout out to anybody who from my school who's watching this right now. And I was that kid, I was that public speaking junkie in high school. I was in the debate team, I was in student council, and I was in Model United Nations, and I traveled all around the world with my school doing conferences or competitions. So actually when I applied a lot to economics or political science because I thought that was what I wanted to do, except for Cornell. I saw the hotel school, I saw the description, and I did an interview actually first before I decided to apply. And I really I had a great time in my interview. I got a lot more information, and I thought, well, why don't I just try it out? And like I said earlier, I have no previous hospitality experience. Never thought about going into the service industry. I didn't know much about it. My mom is a fashion designer, and my grandma's an architect, so really nothing to do with hotels. But so I applied and I made it, and I got more information about it, and I kind of came here really out of the blue. I didn't get to visit campus before this either. But so far this semester, the past semester and this semester has been nothing but awesome. Really meeting people and understanding, really learning what it means to have it like the Hotelie spirit and that service mindset to constantly be aware of people's needs around you and doing everything you can to help people out. And I think so for those of you who know what you guys want to do, want to go into hospitality industry, perfect. If you guys are still on the fence, I can assure you there's nothing but awesomeness waiting for you here.
Definitely, and that's one thing I'll echo as well from like more concrete reasons beyond just like the emotional loving the culture of this school. For me, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go specifically into an operations-based or hospitality-based firm. So for me, it was a great opportunity looking at the postgraduate report. And I saw that so many people went into a variety of different industries. And for me, it gave me a sense of calm of, oh, so this, even though it is the hotel school and we do focus in hospitality, I can still go into a variety of different industries and really be prepared from that standpoint. So that was, despite the fact that, like my father definitely had all the verbiage down ready to go and was definitely persuading me that this was the right choice for me, I was really, really, really moved by the fact that like I could go into so many different industries with this degree.
Absolutely.
All right, so I guess since we are back to the pre-written questions.
Our magic basket.
The magic basket. Would you mind grabbing one, Ari?
All right. Here it goes. All right, so this is, I guess applies, so it's actually a bit more freshman specific, this one. What are you looking forward to getting into over the next few years as a hotelie? So Colton, how about you tell us yourself a little about your earlier years in the hotel school?
Sure. So in my first few years, as you will see once you go through pre-enroll and you're given your classes through Student Center, is that we are all blocked in our classes, so that kind of part of it is alleviated for us, which gives us a little bit of flexibility to like focus on other things beyond just the academic component, because you will be focusing on just your core classes at that point. But for me, I joined, like, as I said before, joined a variety of different organizations, got involved in my a cappella group. In the spring of my freshman year, I ended up becoming an ambassador and have been one ever since. That's been one of my favorite jobs here on campus, is just being able to represent this the hotel school that I love so much and really convey that passion to prospective students as well as now admitted students, which we're so excited about. But no, for me, it's just for those first few years, for me, it was like really trenching down, getting involved in some organizations. I started as an orientation leader my sophomore year. And ended up serving on the orientation steering committee for Cornell for 2 years. So there are definitely a lot of opportunities to really build up the work that you do here on campus, and a lot of different organizations you can get involved in.
Absolutely. So I would say as a current freshman, the hotel school really offers you a lot of possibilities to, not only within the Statler, but to look outside. So this semester I actually decided to, actually a little bit of information from Colton, I decided to go and look a bit into law, which on the surface has nothing to do with the hotel school seemingly, but here we are pursuing a law career. And so this semester I decided to take a law class down in the law school, just down the street. I also decided to pledge a pre-law fraternity. And this semester I also decided to join a consulting group. So a diverse array of things that you can try out in the hotel school. I would say my favorite part about the curriculum here is that it doesn't shackle you into just doing, let's say, accounting and statistics and hotel operation classes. It does give you the time and the flexibility to allow you to explore things outside, specifically the hotel school curriculum and the hospitality industry. So I would say, really looking forward to the next 3 years to trying out all sorts of different things. I think it is a very rare chance for you, and probably a very long time until we're exposed to a community where you can literally take classes in whatever you want. And so I know there are some crazy classes in Cornell, basket weaving or scuba diving or whatever you want to do. And now these 4 years are the only times where you have the chance to go ahead and sign up for it. So I would say my biggest goal in these 4 years is not only just find my real passion, but to really try out all sorts of different things.
And especially for those of you who are looking to get involved within the hotel school, there are also a lot of opportunities. We have a variety of different organizations that are available to you. Just about a month ago, we finished with Hotel Ezra Cornell, which is our big conference that is run by hoteliers, for hoteliers and industry leaders. It's a great opportunity to get some operations-based experience, and also is something that will allow you to really get involved in what it means to be a hotelier. Almost every hotelier gets involved in this, and you can even work your way up to being on the board of directors, which is a 4-credit class where you work all throughout the year preparing for this conference. We have a variety of other organizations and clubs in the hotel school, including ones that are focusing on airlines, focusing on spas. We have the Club Managers Association of America. We also have the National Society of Minorities in Hospitality, with its first branch founded here in the Cornell Hotel School. So there are a variety of opportunities to get involved within SHA as well, if that's something that you're interested in doing too.
So now we have a question from Gali. Thank you so much, Gali, for being here with us today. Gali would like to know a little bit about the international community within the hotel school, and if there are any programs for hoteliers if they would like to learn new languages.
Oh, absolutely. So there are so many international student organizations on campus. So they're the overarching, international student ambassadors and those that oversee all the international students, as well as a lot of cultural groups. So we have, at least what I'm familiar with, there's some, mainland Chinese student associations, there's Korean associations, there's Indian associations, there's all sorts of places where you can find people that are like you from back home. And I think just to understand that specifically within the hotel school, there's just such a diverse group of students within such a small community. So out of the, I would say less than 200 people in my grade, there are just people from every country you can imagine. And so that way, I would say you will never feel very singled out because you're international. For me personally, I was most shocked to find that everyone drives here. Back home no one knew how to drive in Tokyo. It wasn't a need. So I think it's just the little things that will very get you at the start, but you just assimilate so quickly into the community here. And there's definitely there will be something, a club or a community you'll be looking for on campus that will make you feel at home. In terms of languages, also hotels, I believe, have a language requirement, most of which I believe are satisfied before a lot of students enroll here just by taking a couple years of a foreign language back in high school. But definitely there are lots of language opportunities, though I would say the requirements are quite high. It's a big time commitment if you wish to learn a new language here at Cornell. Some classes meet 5 or 6 times a week, which is a lot. In college, but feel free to look into that on your Student Essentials or your websites regarding these classes. A lot of my friends are taking foreign languages and they absolutely love it, and most of them do have trips outside to practice those languages as well.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of friends of mine have pursued minors within specific languages, and that's one opportunity that you have. All minors at Cornell are available to all students regardless of major, and there are many for the specific languages that you can achieve. And as Aries said, there are a lot of the language courses can be more time intensive. That being said, for example, like myself, I studied Spanish my freshman year, and I came in having taken the 4th year level of Spanish, placed out of the introductory level, and that was a 3-day-a-week class. So there are those opportunities to keep up those skills with languages that you've already learned. So definitely make sure to look online to look at those opportunities as well if that's something that you're interested in.
And now we have a question from you again. What is the atmosphere like for students who want to start their own businesses, and are there any opportunities for students who are looking into entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. There's a very large, it's a growing community here in the hotel school, especially with the Pillsbury Institute for Entrepreneurship. We have entrepreneurship classes, and there are more and more as the semesters go on. And there's a thriving community of students who are slowly but surely getting more involved in entrepreneurial endeavors. One of my good friends, actually Alex Levy, has already been involved in 2 different entrepreneurial ventures during his time here at Cornell. And he has spoken so highly of those experiences and allowing him to really get some in-business experience, teaching him, learning through trial and error, to be frankly honest, and getting those experiences of being someone that's, a high-ranking member in a new business. As someone who is still in their teenage years is really a fantastic opportunity. So if that's something that you want to do, there are a lot of other people, not only faculty-wise that will be able to mentor you, but other students who have similarly done experiences like those that can also speak to what they've done and what they can teach you along the way.
Absolutely, and as a freshman, there's it's not daunting at all to begin your new business idea. There's plenty of opportunity. There are business pitch competitions, and as well as there's an entrepreneur club within the hotel school, and as well as in Cornell University generally. So absolutely, there's plenty of opportunities to get that started.
So another question we have is, what is the atmosphere like in Ithaca, and what's life like there as a student?
What's
That's a good
life like in
question.
Ithaca? Well, as someone who has lived here for going on my 4th year, I love being in Ithaca. It might sound crazy. It might be a little cold at times, definitely. But we definitely have there's a great sense of community here with Cornell being part of that Ithaca community. One of my favorites when it's in the early fall or coming right now when it's getting nice in the spring is the Ithaca Farmers Market. That's one of the most fun opportunities. It's downtown, right near the lake, which is a fantastic opportunity, and a lot of local farmers will come, put up their stands. You can get everything. You can get fresh produce. You can get like a lot of variety of different food. It's a great opportunity. A lot of students love to do that. And one of the biggest things about being in the Ithaca community is just our natural resources, especially during nice times of the year. I've recently taken up, as I do every spring, of going hiking with friends in local area like Buttermilk Falls, Taganic Falls. We even have some beautiful gorges here on campus that you can walk around. So there are definitely a lot of great opportunities in the Ithaca area that really make it a great place to be for college.
Absolutely. So for me, who have lived in nothing but huge metropolitan cities all my life, coming from Tokyo and Shanghai, it was a big change. But nevertheless, I've been loving every single second of it. Especially the winters have been getting more and more mild, as that is what I've been hearing. One of my friends who brought their big, she's from California, and she got these big snow boots that she actually never got to wear this winter because it wasn't cold enough and the snow wasn't even that intense. So it's definitely livable, despite rumors you may hear. And it's very beautiful. There's exactly 4 seasons, and you will see every bit of it. If you do come from the city, as you know, we don't really get all seasons, and I haven't seen snow in a very long time. So, as I would say, the nature and the views coming from the hill are absolutely so beautiful. If you do have a car, it is a perk to have it on campus to drive around Ithaca, and the local community is absolutely thriving. So I think it's we're out of here in 4 years. It's definitely something to cherish and to enjoy while you're here.
Absolutely.
And so now we have a question from Amanda. She asks, is the overall experience with courses, opportunities, and activities mostly centered around hospitality or general business?
So that's a great question. So the way I usually like to explain our program to prospective students is by describing our program as business with a hospitality twist. So our curriculum is very similar to a lot of undergraduate business programs, but you will have those courses that focus solely in hospitality as well. For example, our applied economics and management students will be taking Intro to Business. We, on the other side, will be taking Introduction to Hotel Operations as well as Introduction to Food Service Operations. You will also have Culinary and Restaurant Management. You'll have those classes that are far more hotel specific, while at the same hand you will have those business cores including Financial Accounting, Finance, Principles of Real Estate, Statistics. You're going to have a lot of those core business classes supplemented with hospitality. So that's the way I always describe it. You're getting a core business degree just through the lens of hospitality.
Absolutely. All my problem set example questions in managerial accounting are talked, based on rooms and housekeeping and labor. However, the course itself is very business focused.
So another question that we have is, how does Cornell's alumni network benefit current students?
Oh my goodness, let us talk about that.
We could go on forever about this one.
The alumni, I would say the alumni network, if the hotel school is one of the biggest benefits to being a Hotelie. Absolutely. There's something called an alumni database, which you can get access to once you enroll in Cornell and have a net ID that's hotel identifying. And then once you log on, you can Google, let's say back home, so I will Google up Tokyo, Japan, and it would give me a list of alumni who are in the area, where they're working, and their contact information. And I have actively went out and emailed a lot of those alumni from that list and set up, coffee chats or, meetings, and I would show up to their office. So actually, Mr. Abe, who I met last winter, this past winter, he is, I believe, the vice president at Hyatt Corporations Japan. And so I really just sent him an email because I found it on the alumni database and set up a meeting with him, had a great chat with him for an hour. And really, the alumni are always so happy to talk to current students and in any way to give back to the hotel school and the great time they've had here. And I would say, if you don't utilize the alumni database once during your time here, you're missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might think it's a little far-fetched to some, an alumni, just a cold email to be like, hi, I'm such and such, I just want to get to know your business. And you probably think, oh, what's the probability of them responding? Within the Hotelie network, these hotel alumni are so excited to get to know you. We'll frequently get back to you. I've done this multiple times, just looked for individuals in my area within specific fields that I was looking to get to know more about, and they immediately got back to me saying, oh, I'd absolutely love to meet with you, meeting over coffee. So many of my friends have gotten internships just from a basic conversation that they wanted to get to know more about a corporation or a specific industry. So we have not only are there a lot of alumni within our network, they're really invested in your future success and getting to know you as well.
So I know both of you touched upon earlier the diversity of industries that the hoteliers go into after graduation, but one student would like to know a little bit about what kind of jobs do people get coming out of the hotel school?
They really range all over the place. You do have individuals who do go into that core hotel-related operations. You have individuals that will be going into more analytics-based jobs within a corporate setting that focus on hotel industry analytics. You could have individuals that are going into more casino-based analytics. I was just in Las Vegas with the labor relations and the hospitality industry class for the HR and hospitality conference, and I met up with quite a few friends that are working for large casino-based companies that are doing revenue management for them. So there are opportunities there. Many individuals go into a real estate-based job where you'd be a real estate analyst at the beginning. Also, other individuals end up going to Wall Street, work in banks. There's so many different things that you can do with this degree. And again, just goes back to the fact that our core is based in business. There are so many different industries that you can go into with that business background. On top of the fact that having that service focus, service truly is everywhere. We talk about the fact that the hospitality is in almost every business nowadays. So having that specific background will benefit you in practically any industry that you're looking to go into.
Absolutely, and I believe there are annual reports available online, specifically to hotel school, that you can look up and see what percentage of students of each graduating class goes into which industry and what jobs they take up on, as well as their average salary. So if you're interested in that, you can make sure to Google that up.
Definitely.
No questions for now, but if you're with us and watching right now, feel free to send any more questions. We'd love to hear more of what you have to say, any thoughts that you have on your mind.
Absolutely, and since we don't have any questions at the moment, we'll pull up another question. Ooh, so this has honestly in it. You have to be completely honest with this one, Ari. Honestly, why is the hotel school the greatest school on earth?
On Earth,
on
yes.
Earth. All the entirety of this big globe. Why is it the best school?
I think, let's say speaking from a school point of view, it is one of the most prestigious as well as most world-renowned schools in the world, yet it is not deathly stressing. I think it's not stressful to the point where you're going to break. And I think a lot of very top schools in the world do give that vibe. And of course, none of us have been to any of those because we're here. But it is definitely something that I appreciate very, very much, that I can hang out in the Statler Library and just have a good time. I just actually came from exam.
As did I.
And before that, I was, I really needed to grab a coffee with some of my Hotelie friends and just talk and, chill before my exam, whereas, not hiding in a corner of the school and, vigorously cramming all the information that I could. So I think it really not only is not just, a happy 4 years of college, it really shapes who you are. I think the way you approach life and all these challenges that are faced before you, and I think that's something very unique to hotel students. And this institution fosters in all students, is that to always look optimistically upon things and understand that all the hard work you put through, all the challenges you've gone, is something that will be repaid back to you in the long run. And you know that every bit of late nights, I stayed up till 5:30 doing my consulting deck. Just last Monday, I had 1 hour of sleep left. Came back to Statler, went to work at the front desk, and I felt horrible. But I know that I'm feeling not very hospitable on 1 hour of sleep. But you just know that these hard work you put in here will pay. We paid back eventually in the long run, and that every minute of your time here is worth it, worth every penny you're spending.
Absolutely. And for me, I think what's so unique about this school is not only do we have, again, talking about the fact that it's a world-renowned school, that we have such a great curriculum, but on top of that, you have this great sense of, you have a small school feel within the context of a greater university. That's something that's very special, I think, to our school. So many of my friends that I've met in other majors are always somewhat jealous of the relationships that we have in the hotel school. Mm-hmm. We always get, we are joked that we're called Statler High sometimes because it does feel like that close-knit community that you would have in a high school.
Plus we have lockers.
Plus we do have lockers. See, hey, continuing on to the stereotype. But no, we really have such a great sense of connectedness. If you're a member of the hotel school, you already have this fantastic group of friends in your class, just like off the bat. I remember, for example, Grant Banky, he's happens to coincidentally be not only a Hotelie, but also in my a cappella group. He and I met on the first day. We now live together, like we practically live, breathe, and do everything together. So like you have those great friends from day one, which is really fantastic. On top of the fact that you have the amenities of a very large school with so many different organizations, so many different things that you can do, and so many ways that you can make an impact on this community. It's really an amazing opportunity that you have. I always say with incoming students that are looking specifically at a hotel that, that I originally found the hotel school that just happened to be at Cornell. There's something, there's a special sauce about this school that that on top of the fact that it's at Cornell at a rigorous grade school like this is just truly unique and fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So could both of you talk a little bit about the living conditions in the dorms at Cornell?
Sure. Well, Ari, how about you start since you're currently living in the dorms?
Yes, I currently live on North Campus, which is where all the freshmen live. Personally, I live in Risley Hall, which is the closest one to Central Campus. Actually, we have a dining hall, we have a bus stop, we have a food truck across the hall, and it's the closest one. So if you're looking at that, make sure you go and sign up for that one. I know housing just opened. But there's definitely a wide range of dorms you could possibly be in. I would say, personally, the dorms up in North Campus, especially if you're looking at Donlin, if you're looking at CKB, Dixon, the low rises and high rises, the community is very, very tight knit. I know friends, who are senior year, living with a group of people that were their floor from freshman year, and I think. Of course, I don't know if other colleges are like this as well, but the dorm communities here are very, very close. There's oftentimes everybody will have like dorm friends from freshman year. I heard that's a thing. And so certainly, and they're definitely very, very nice dorms as well. There's, Dorm Muse has air conditioning, I believe, very spacious living conditions, and right next to Appel, which is one of the dining halls. So depending on your preference, you could have a very different experience here at Cornell in your freshman dorms. So personally in Risley, it's I believe a performing arts-based dorm, and we're a mixed. So a lot of my dorm friends are actually seniors and juniors. And we host, I know in the summer when orientation week is happening, we have like sword fights out on the lawn. We have a Harry Potter night, which is happening this Friday, where we convert our entire dining hall into Harry Potter theme. And the lines are so long every year, it takes a couple hours to get in and just get food and enjoy the show. We have Risley Theater within our dorm that puts on, comedy shows or drama or musicals. So really, just look into your housing portal and all the information on the website. Depending on which dorm you choose, you can have a very, very different experience.
Yeah. So since I was not looking for a program-based house, I just went into the general Cornell housing lottery and was placed in Dixon Hall. I look back so nostalgically on my time in Dixon. I made some of my best friends that I'm still very close and connected with today on campus or in that hall. Again, talking about the fact that we do have that context within a larger university, you're not placed on a hall with individuals just of your major. So it really gives you the opportunity to get to meet a variety of different people on campus, extend your network beyond the hotel school. That was always a fantastic opportunity for me. There were just so many great people. Being in Dixon Hall, it is the largest residence hall in the Ivy League.
Yep.
I think it houses over 550 students. It's
That's
really big hall.
Yep.
But it really had that opportunity. You just got to meet all these different people. Dixon Hall's majority single rooms, so everyone had their doors open, and it was just such a great opportunity to get to meet new people. And Ari will find this out very soon, but you find yourself really missing those experiences because all of your freshman class is in one place at one time, and it's a really great opportunity to just see people hang out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It really creates that sense of community.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about upperclassmen housing too, Colton?
Upperclassmen housing. So we have guaranteed housing through, I believe it's your sophomore year, if that's correct. Yeah, so it's through your sophomore year, and the vast majority of students who are juniors and seniors end up going off of campus. So West Campus is our main housing for sophomores, and a few upperclassmen as well, but there are a lot of opportunities to live in a variety of different places, including in College Town, and also areas near North Campus, down past West Campus. There are a lot of different places you can live. For example, I currently live in a house with 7 other members of my a cappella group, so we have our own a cappella group house. So there are a lot of opportunities you get to live with different people. So it's a fun opportunity to get to and live with your friends, which is pretty cool.
So building off of what both of you just discussed, one of our watchers is wondering if people usually get their first choice of dorm.
Typically, no. We'll give it to you honest on that one. It might have changed since I was a freshman, because in my day we didn't get to choose which dorm. We just said which type of which style we preferred. And I personally, as an only child, really wanted my own space, so I ended up getting my single dorm room. But I know a lot of you might be interested in having a roommate as that being an integral part of your college experience, so you can select that as well. I will tell you that I was originally I wanted to be in one of the newer dorms. The one thing I will say is that everyone ends up loving the hall that they're in, whether that's being in Donlin or Dixon, one of the older dorms, or even being in one of the townhouses that they have available where you're in, you have a fully furnished townhouse to yourself with 4 individuals in it. Everyone ends up loving where they're going, so I wouldn't put too much concern about where you get placed. It's really about the people that make the dorm rather than the dorm making it anything else.
Absolutely. I would say unless you're applying for program housing, you'll go into a general lottery system where you just indicate you want a single, double, triple, or a quad, and then you'll be placed into whichever dorm just randomly assigned. So I would say it's in the first month of school when it's very warm, the kids in the dorms with air conditioning will be like, yeah, I got the good dorm. And then after that, it doesn't really mean anything anymore for the rest of the year. So I remember first getting on campus, so Ridley doesn't have air conditioning, so I was like, oh, rats, I got the really, it was super hot in my room, and I got a roommate, which I was lucky for. I had someone to keep me company, but really down the line, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. You make friends with the people in your hallway, or you can have a really quiet hallway. If you don't wish to socialize, that's totally fine too. And it's really what you make of it, regardless of where you are. I know friends who first got the townhouses, which are, I believe, the furthest dorms you can be in, so they probably walk another 6 or 7 minutes up the hill to go to their rooms, and they don't really mind it anymore. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So now we have a great question from Jason. Thank you so much, Jason. What is one thing that you wish people knew about the hotel school that most people don't usually know?
I would say that the biggest thing that I usually end up having to explain to people is the fact that we are AACSB accredited. A lot of times people don't understand the fact that the hotel school actually is a business program. We're unique in that way. We're the only business program that is based in hospitality. And a lot of times you get jokes about, oh, what are you doing, folding napkins, making beds? Do you take classes in the Statler hotel rooms? And then when we explain, it's no, there's literally a school attached to the Statler Hotel, explaining more about our program. And it's really an exciting opportunity when non-hoteliers come and take our classes. Many students outside of the hotel school that are interested in pursuing a business minor will actually come in and take some of our open classes, including business computing, finance, financial accounting, etc. And many of them end up finding oh wow, this is a legitimate program. This is not napkin folding by any means. It's a really cool opportunity when people get to see how truly awesome our curriculum is.
I would say at least from the high school I came from, that to understand that the Cornell in general as well, not just the hotel school, there is no prestigious Ivy League preppy, elitist vibe. And I think, when we were applying, as seniors in high school, applying to colleges, it was all about rankings. It was all about, oh, I guess this school's a little bit higher, so I hope I get into that one. And, when you make Cornell, it's like, oh my God, I made Cornell. And then you think you would come and everyone's very, high and mighty about, they made an Ivy League. And I think that's one of the biggest shockers I had when I first came to Cornell, is that no one was like, yeah, I made Cornell, you can move out of my way. And I think that's one of the reasons, as to also why people are very welcoming and friendly here. They're so open-minded, and everyone here goes to Cornell, and it just doesn't matter anymore, and you don't feel, emotionally superior to anyone because you're in an Ivy League or because you're in the hotel school, and that's better than another college. So I think the fact that the elitist vibe doesn't exist in Cornell is something that I wish everyone knew, especially during the application process.
Yeah, definitely one of the phrases I saw on posters when I started school was the idea of it being elite but not elitist. And we're very proud of the fact that we have a great curriculum, but there definitely isn't that traditional sense of that high and mighty sensation that Ari was talking about. It's really a diverse group of people, all of whom are hardworking but are very humble in what they do, and it's a really great opportunity to meet those types of people, and they're truly all over campus in a variety of different majors, which I've truly appreciated as well.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about what students generally do during break or in their free time?
Ooh.
So it varies. There's so many different things that you can do. One thing that's very hotel specific that you can do that is break related is quite a few hotel students, when they're trying to get a little bit of exposure into a different industry, will do an externship. And you're like, well, I've heard of internships. What are externships? Yep. Externships is just a fancy term for a shorter stint internship. Traditionally it's unpaid, but you can do it for about a week or 2 weeks, especially since we have a very long winter break that's usually sometimes between 5 and 6 weeks.
Very long.
Gives you the opportunity to go do these types of experiences. I did an externship during my sophomore year. I worked with a company that I worked with over the summer, worked at a different property, and had the opportunity to be part it was a recently opened property and get some experience in a different chain scale hotel, get to meet different people in a different area, and get that type of exposure that they're typically unpaid, but definitely gives you some experience that's invaluable. Other opportunities that you can do, for example, my a cappella group goes on tour during the fall break. Sorry, not fall, yeah, fall break. I was about to say February break, but no, fall break. And we, just this past fall break, ended up going to my home area of Washington, D.C., staying at a variety of different places in that area. And quite a few other students will either travel for shorter breaks. Many students, especially those that are international, since I know we've received quite a few questions about international students, many students will just simply stay on campus here in Ithaca. Also, it's very popular to go to New York City for the breaks. That's always a good one.
So I didn't get to go home until Christmas because it's a bit of a far plane ride. So I did spend both of my breaks in the first semester in New York City with my friends who go to NYU. So that's definitely a fun way to spend your time. There are very convenient ways for you to get to New York City from Ithaca, from Cornell University specifically. The buses are right behind your dorm. There's a stop right in North Campus. So just bring your backpack on and have a good 2 or 3 days in New York City.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you both talk a little bit about if students are interested in pursuing studies in other colleges, as I know that both of you are also interested in taking classes outside of the hotel school?
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely. So actually, I believe you cannot double major with a hotel school degree, so you can't be a double major in another college. However, you are free to take, we actually have a non-HADM, like non-hotel school credit requirement for us to graduate. So you are essentially forced to take classes that are in the hotel school for you to even get the degree. So personally, I believe, we took law classes. So since we have a great top 14 law school in the world, Cornell Law School right down the street, I thought, well, I'm going to take a class there. So I did. So I'm taking one right now. But I have friends who are taking horticulture, who are taking all sorts of cool PE classes, who are taking business or even different languages, computer science. So it really, we're on a big campus, such a big university. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, and one of the great opportunities when it comes to being able to pursue other studies, while you can't double major, you can accumulate as many minors as you see fit and as many as you'd like to pursue. So for me, I pursued both real estate, which was in the hotel school, but also information science, which is housed outside the hotel school. I took 3 different classes in a variety of different areas, including communication and technology, an introduction to web design course, all these different types of courses for me, I really appreciated them as it gave me such a different perspective outside of a SHA that I really appreciated. It gave me a different frame of thinking that was different from the traditional business perspective that we usually think in. So if you want to do those minors, there are also a variety of different minors. I know friends of mine who are taking or pursuing minors that are in the humanities, including history or English. Other people are trying to do minors that are supplementary to your hotel school education. You could get a minor in viticulture and in winemaking, which is pretty cool. So there are a variety of different things that you can study in many of these different areas outside of the hotel school that could be really beneficial to your career as well.
So Ari and Colton, we've had a few more people coming in to join us, including the Director of Admissions, who's watching from Mumbai right now.
Oh, wow.
So that's awesome. Yeah, so thank you so much for doing this. And so for the people who just joined us, could you reintroduce yourself very quickly?
Sure. Okay, I guess I'll start. My name is Colton Haney. I am a current senior here in the hotel school. Again, when I say senior, that means 3.5 weeks of classes left. Crazy to think it's flown by like this. Some of my interest areas are in the minors that I was just talking about. I am a dual minor in real estate and information science, as well as a concentration in law. And some other things that I do on campus. I'm involved in the Cornell University Glee Club, which is the men's chorus, an a cappella group, and I'm also a member of a senior honor society.
Cool. So hey guys, my name is Ari Kato, and I'm a current freshman at the hotel school. I'm originally from Tokyo, Japan, and I went to high school in Shanghai, China. So I am an international student. I showed up last semester in August, first time on Cornell's campus, first time in the United States, and here I am, moved in and ready to go. And so actually, in my free time, I'm a bit like Colton. I'm in the Cornell University chorus, which is the female, the treble voice choir, as well as I'm in After 8, which is the subset a cappella group. So in our free time, we do a lot of singing.
Yeah, we're kind of similar.
So I do a lot of singing outside. This semester, I decided to pledge a law fraternity, pre-professional law fraternity, as well as join a consulting group. So really kind of edging my way into like the business and kind of that consulting and the professional scene a little bit more. That's just my focus for this semester, but looking forward to doing a lot of different things going forward.
Awesome. So as of now, we don't have any more new questions, but if you have any questions to any of the students or parents who are with us today, definitely feel free to keep asking before we wrap up here. But feel free to go ahead and grab one from the basket.
Oh, here's a good one. This is a freshman-related question, so I think this will be perfect for you, Ari. As your freshman year draws to a close in a few months, can you reflect on what it is like to start your undergraduate life here at Cornell?
Oh my goodness. So I was absolutely, unprepared. I was the first one in my family to come to university in the United States. I had come here on vacation before, but I've never really lived here. So when I first landed in New York City from Tokyo and JFK, I was just so overwhelmed. The culture and the people and the environment was so different from what I was exposed to. And I remember driving up that 4.5 hours from New York City up to Ithaca and being absolutely appalled by all the nature. Because, I grew up in all these cities.
Appalled by nature?
It was
appalled by nature. Wow, that's such an interesting thing. Like, I'm excited by nature. You're appalled by nature?
I was like, that's a lot of trees. and it's really beautiful in the summer. And I came up here, and I remember getting my schedule during orientation week, showing up to all these events. And I remember as, a newly minted freshman sitting in the Statler Auditorium waiting for the dean to come up and speak on stage. And the first thing that really struck me was how talkative hoteliers were. And my roommate's an engineer, and she's wonderful. But she said when they were in their auditorium waiting for the deans to come up, it was silent. It was super quiet. Everyone was in their seats because, everyone was new and no one knew anybody. But I remember just being in Statler Auditorium, and I sat down immediately, and the guy next to me goes, "Hey, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you." And Matt Federici, he's one of my good friends now. And just so kind of taken aback and just so pleasantly surprised by how willing people were to be, welcoming and friendly, even though they were new as well. And I think the first few days I was very overwhelmed. Culture is very different here. I watched Disney Channel growing up, but it's a little different in real life in the United States. But definitely, really taking the time. A couple weeks in, I was finally used to the flow, the schedule, and how, the campus worked. I think, none of us have been exposed, living down the street and walking past all these colleges to go to class. But I think the transition process, it's hard, but it's very quick. It flies by, in a minute. And I remember, I was here second week, I was auditioning for the chorus. Third week, I was auditioning for a cappella. And then by fourth week, we were in this steady rehearsal schedule, right? And that's how it worked. So I think you get, you're involved very quickly. People, are always pulling you in so you can join their families and communities on campus. So I had a very fun time.
Absolutely, and I loved that Ari was talking about remembering the exact person that introduced themselves to her. I remember Jess Wu of my grade was sitting right next to me at our first one, and she's like, I'm Jess, nice to meet you. I'm interested in real estate. What's your name and what are you interested in? I'm like, wow, like, that's really great. Like people like so interested like in getting to know you and stuff like that. She was definitely like one of the stars of our year and was like already knew exactly where she wanted to work, what she wanted to do, and I was like, I am definitely not that far along. But no, it was really a great opportunity to like everyone was introducing themselves. And you're like, oh, these are my parents and all this kind of stuff, which is really cool. When you know, for example, when my parents come for a cappella concerts, they'll like walk through Statler and all the hoteliers like introducing themselves and all that kind of stuff. So it's being part of the hotel school community definitely makes that transition into Cornell so much easier, having that support network and having those other people to turn to. Mm-hmm. I will say that for me as a freshman, I am an only child and an absolute mama's boy. So going off to college was definitely an adjustment for me. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I will stress to all of you as admitted students is the fact that there is a reason why you're chosen to be part of this program. It's definitely going to be an adjustment, but I would say that the majority of that adjustment is going to be more on the social side of making sure that you're on your own and figuring out how to like manage your own calendar and being, you know, just invested, you know, in your own education, because you're on your own at this point. So it's definitely going to be more of a social adjustment, but once you get over that social adjustment, you'll find that you get there very quickly. I would say a month, and I finally felt like I was in my groove and figured out what I was doing.
It does take a little bit of a while.
It does take a little while, but that's what your freshman year is for. You'll definitely talk to some Office of Student Services staff who will be like, take it easy your first semester, take your 12 credits, be a full-time student, but don't push it too far so that you can really start to adjust. You can build up to do a lot more courses later. But yeah, it's definitely, you'll adjust, but you'll do so just fine, not to worry.
And if you need a mentor anytime, you can reach out to us ambassadors. We've all been where you are right now, and getting our acceptance letter and watching these live streams. And we're more than happy to help you guys out and let you guys in on the little inside in and outs of Cornell that you might not know yet. So make sure you reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys out.
Absolutely. Well, we are just nearing the end of our session. We wanted to thank you all again for joining us. We hope you found this informative. If you still have any other itching questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to answer those questions for you. We on the ambassadors team, along with the rest of the admissions team, we're really here to help you assimilate into Cornell and make this an easy transition for you. So feel free to ask those questions as well by sending just a quick email to us. But thank you again so much for your time. Thanks for joining us. And we hope that you have a great rest of your day. And we also, more importantly, look forward to seeing you guys in the fall. So.